In the beginning of my career, I used to think that if I had a strong enough vision, I could achieve it by myself. And my first few projects were really style explorations. They were really fun to make, but they weren't really great. I mean, they weren't bad, but they weren't on par with the big commercials that I admired. And I just kept asking myself why. I had the concept, I had the vision, but the execution wasn't there. Everything, lighting, sound, production design, wardrobe, was just better on those big commercials. And I realized why. I was trying to do everything by myself, and it showed. A strong vision isn't enough. You need a team of people that are a lot better than you to elevate your vision to the next level. But it's not easy to build a team in the beginning because you don't have a name, you don't have a portfolio. So you hesitate to reach out to those DPs and producers that you've been looking up to because you feel like a fraud. You don't feel like you're worth it. And that's how I felt. I felt stuck. I wasn't growing. But at some point, I realized that I needed to take responsibility for my life and my career because no one is going to do that for me. So I mustered up some courage and reached out to a friend of mine who owned a small gym and offered to shoot a commercial for him for anything that he could give me. And that project changed my life. It was the first spec commercial that I ever directed. And the budget for it was just $2K, and I spent it all on crew, but that crew elevated my vision to the next level. I met one of my closest collaborators and best friends in that commercial. But most importantly, I learned that filmmaking is a team sport. And once I embraced that, my growth accelerated and the real lessons began. So here are the traits I believe make a great film director based on my career experience. Hi, my name is Alexei Krivich, and I'm a writer, director, actor, photographer based out of Austin, Texas, and I've been working in this industry for the past 10 years. You have to have a strong vision as a director, and that means knowing what your project is before you bring anybody on. You have to figure out the concept. You have to figure out the structure, the tone, the theme, the message of the story, the emotion that you're trying to evoke from the audience. You have to figure out the answers to these questions, and you have to visualize them for your team so they know exactly what you're looking for. Because having a vision means having clarity, and clarity is what makes people trust you and follow you throughout this whole process. A great director is a great salesman because when you've put together your vision, it's time to reach out to producers, to your crew, to your cast, and your investors. You need to be able to sell your idea to those people and make them believe in it. And sometimes just knowing you is enough. Sometimes the story pulls the weight, and sometimes it's just about pulling a favor. And when that happens, that's a great day. But when the ideas and budgets get bigger, you need to figure out a way to show your collaborators that your film aligns with their goals, and that's called leverage. Where's this actor at in their career? Does your film help them move forward, or does it challenge them creatively? A great director has to be prepared and has to be the most reliable person on set. Once you've locked in your crew, you need to get their trust. And that means being prepared. That means shot listing, scouting, meetings. You need to have a plan A, plan B, and a plan C. And you need to show up on time every time because you set the example for everybody. You need to plan in a way so on the day you just execute. Because when you're prepared, that leaves room for some magic on set. That leaves room for flexibility. Like when you've planned an extra hour for a location and you previs the whole scene, you may end up with some extra time to get some inserts or some footage that you didn't know you wanted, or you just may end up getting a leg up on the next location. A great director is a great communicator because communication is the biggest and most important currency on set. You need to be able to communicate your vision clearly so everybody knows what's expected of them and everyone is on the same page. But communication is not only about being clear and being direct. It's also about timing, it's also about tone, energy, and leadership. Because conflicts happen, and it's normal, it's part of the job. But communication and diplomacy is about guiding the people through that conflict with clarity and calmness. A great director is empathetic. You have to remember that you're working with people and not tools. Everybody brings their own life and problems to set, but it's your job to lead and make sure that people around you feel comfortable, safe, and heard. And that means showing compassion. That means checking in with your team and paying attention to the little things. It means giving a 10-minute break to your production designer that you see is about to have a panic attack. Because empathy builds trust, and trust is integral in making a film. A great director needs to be decisive because a set is like a moving train and you are the conductor. You don't have time to hesitate. And that doesn't mean that you need to make the right call every time, but it means that you need to assess the situation clearly, make a call, and stand by it. And if that turns out to be the wrong call, you need to accept the responsibility and pivot to a new solution. Like when you see that the clouds are not going to give you the beautiful sunset for the shot that you wanted to get, it's about making a quick call to pivot to an interior scene and get those shots instead. And if by some miracle the clouds do clear up, it's about making a quick decision and pivoting back to the original plan. A great director has to be flexible in their creativity because on set, something will go wrong every time. A location might fall through, the weather might change, an actor will get sick. But it's up to you to let go of what was supposed to happen and lean in to what's happening right now, because you might end up with something better than the original. A great director needs to be able to handle stress well, because when things fall apart, everybody looks at you for an example. And if you freak out, everybody will freak out too. But if you stay calm, everybody will follow your lead. Before every shoot, I tell myself, I'm here to solve problems. And it just reframes everything in my brain. Because you have to remember that you can't control chaos, but you can control how you respond to it. A great director is nothing without their taste. Your taste is the final filter in your film. It's the decision that you say no to. It's the shot that you don't shoot. It's the scene that you cut from the final cut of your film. It's the fight that you pick when everybody wants to play it safe. Taste is the fingerprint that you leave on your work. It's what makes your film yours. And these are my top qualities of a great film director. If you're just starting out or feel stuck, here's my advice. Start small, write for what you can shoot, use what you have, and refine the process every time. And if you're a writer-director who wants a clear, repeatable system, that's exactly what I'm building in my writing course. It walks you through my whole process, from idea to structure to something shootable. And if that sounds like something you need, the link to the waitlist is down below. And if this video helped you think differently about directing, please subscribe. I've got more coming that digs even deeper. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one.